Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. Boozy Kings, bring down your hand, this man. If I rapture you now, they'll say I'm wicked. If I enter you now, they will say I'm wicked. Learn today, shut up. Cho, you come my life now, you go collect now. First of all, before I do anything, I need to address a lot of people out there. Someone commented on my page and said, "Daddy Freeze, you're always eating, you are moving around, you are checking your phone. It's unprofessional." Did I tell you that I give you professionalism? Please. At what stage did I tell you I give you a profession? I'm giving you my opinion, and I'm the first to break the gist. I'm giving it to you when it's hot. I never signed any agreement that I'll be giving you. You people pay me to be here. Please, how much is your subscription fee? Buy super chat, super sticker, super likes this month. Nobody bought. Same thing with my stars because I'm too busy. And then you are telling me what to do, how to run the live. Come and sit down here and run it now. Come and sit down here and talk now. Somebody said, Daddy Freeze, you'll be eating, you'll be. Did you pay me? Am I working for you that you can give me rules and regulations? Did Instagram say I cannot eat? No. Did Instagram say I cannot press my phone? No. So I'm giving it to you as it is. Do you know what I was going through yesterday? Yesterday, when I brought the girl live, my phones were dying. Why do you think I was sitting down and my shots were showing? Because I had to connect the phone live to the mains so that the phone will not buy. Are you ready? I am not. So please, let me tell you, I did not sign any agreement with anybody to give you professionalism. If you want professionalism, go and listen to the radio. Me, I will give it to you as it is hot. I will give you the gist. I will give you my opinion. I will give you the facts as I understand them to be. J Bon J say, but why are you shouting? I'm shouting because your father is daft. That's why I'm shouting. Oh yeah, Binu, the rapture, first rapture. Why are you shouting? Go need that from my battle beer. The rapture dan oloshi olori buruku. Oh yeah. No. Today I'm in the mood. You dey buy my stars. You dey buy my money gun. I don't have to be here. Talk nonsense. I go curse all of you. Close the live. Go and drink beer and watch movie. Now Friday night I do. I've worked and I've made my quota for the week. I don't need to be here. So don't think that you are doing me a favor watching my life. All of you go away. Close the live and go. As a matter of fact, I didn't even want to come. Let me just break your hearts. Let me just break your hearts. So there are many things I want to address, and I'm going to start with that. There are many people who do the kind of interviews I do. Some people say, Daddy Freeze, why don't you have a studio? Consider that. Just close your eyes. All of you, close your eyes. Imagine I am reporting from Iran and Israel as the two of them they begin. You hear bola, and I did there the report. Have you carry studio go there? So just imagine it. Whatever is happening in real time. We are moving. I'm not here to dress fancy for you. This is not fancy dress. It's not a fancy dress party. I'm not here to wear a costume for you, to cross my leg and put camera on one side. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to give you the information fast in real time. That's why I don't record on Friday or Thursday. I record anytime there's a need to record. I'm recording. And any day I need to have a studio, I have a studio I can use to record studio for you. But imagine yesterday we are live. The girl came live while I was live. I can't run go studio. We're talking about something different. We're talking about that woman's copyright. If you remember, if you are my follower, you remember. We're talking about that woman's copyright claim. That evangelist lady. I just saw a message then and there from Harrison. Harrison is live. Boom. I had sent Ben a message since morning. Ben finally responded. Boom. I needed Harrison and Ben to be in the same space at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. I made it happen. Brought Ben, brought Harrison. Oh yeah, let's hear. Then after that, the lady, Rachel, she was commenting in the live. They said, bring her on, bring her on, bring her on. And I brought her live. Boom. So, guys, see, there are many of us that do this kind of work. If you don't like my own, go and watch their own. I'm about to hit 1 million followers on Instagram. I will have hit this 1 million followers maybe 3 years ago. The people, if they go and check the amount of people, every day I block like 300 people. So please, 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 I'm not looking for your kind of audience. The people that I'm looking for are the people that buy my superstars, buy my stars, buy my money gone, buy my super chats. Not you that watch for free and complain. I don't understand. How do you watch something for free and still complain? You're watching something for free. It's not like you paid me a survey and then you are not happy with the quality I'm giving you after you paid. Then I'm seeing one blogger called Ijoma Daisy. I'm still considering whether to file a copyright against her. You carry my video and you said I did not allow you to talk. Do you know what you are talking about? I cut people off anytime they use profanity on my page and I warn them, don't say this, don't say this, don't say that. How can you take my video without my permission? Then you are commenting that I did not allow the person to talk. I'm looking at, all I need to do is file now, she go begin to run around, they beg me. You don't take people's material and use it to do what you want and report it in a way that makes your page look good. Like, no, don't try. Go and adjust that thing. Or you see a letter from me. It takes 5 minutes. And you will see. Adin Isioma says you can claim. I don't need to claim that you are dense. I don't need to claim that your mother is an Olori Buruku. And I don't need to claim that Adete Nibabe. You should be living in the lepers community. I don't know what you're doing living among human beings. Be teacher. Be see the name. Adin. Issue. If I ever see you in my life again, my buying blow anything. Why jet blow ni? Olori Buruku. Gba rapture danu. Elesin. Isioma. Oshiomo. I don't rapture you. You say, make I just forgive you. Make I just unfollow you. If that's not what you meant. Don't they talk nonsense for my life? I just unblock you now. Don't they talk nonsense for my life? Because I know they the mood. I don't unblock them. Make una tell and say I don't unblock them. Now they cross me. Now, I want to talk about what I brought you to talk about. You see, the problem with Nigerians is we don't have open minds. We're not trained. We're not trained. And that's why I have such a big problem with religion. One pastor is healing people in Canada. Meanwhile, Osinachi Pai for in church, he raise him. When Osinachi was sick, in carry and go hospital according to his own statement. But now they go Canada, go heal people. If it makes sense to you, it does not make sense to me. Somebody say I don't get sense. I don't get time for TikTok people. That one I just rapture straight. No need to argue with them. I don't go even talk anything. Now Instagram people now I go even still cost more. So you guys were not trained by your parents to think logically. You were trained to think superstitiously. You were trained to think emotionally. And that is why we are where we are today as a people. Because the autopsy is not telling you that Samilari na by Mohbad una don vex. Because the autopsy is not saying na Naira Marley na by the Mohbad una don. Because the autopsy is not telling you that Liam is not Mohbad's child una don vex. As long as Something may be wrong, but as long as it is what Nigerians want to hear, it becomes right. And something may be right, as long as it is not what Nigerians want to hear, it becomes wrong. I know they cost accounts we no get picture. I go just rapture you. One person just chop rapture now. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Let's stop hiding behind shadows. As far as I was concerned, if you ask me, inside Mohbad's, and people who follow me know this thing, I've said it from the beginning. Mohbad's demise, 80% is Mohbad. The remaining 20% is all the circumstances around him. From his upbringing, his parenting, in wife, in record label, everything that came up together. I am not emotional, I will tell you the truth. There's a certain way you live your life. Someone said, we don't know that for a fact, dear. You don't? Haven't you seen his videos? Did you not see him with the balloon? Is it not? You see, maybe because you people don't have people will get substance problem for your family. That's why I don't know. Door, please. That's why I don't know. Did he act rational to you? Be very honest. You and your best friend, they fight, you punch glass. Now, do I believe the autopsy report? There's nothing in Nigeria that I believe. There's nothing. Nigeria has gotten to a place where you can never trust any source. You can never trust any source. But from all the reports, from the boys' report, from the nurses' report, from the behavior, you see, there was a time when Mohbad had already started acting a bit paranoid. It's a bit funny. It's a bit funny. But personally, do I believe that anybody buy him? I just believe that negligence, bad management, lack of education, lack of understanding, poor emergency management are the things that led to his demise, in my humble opinion. And not just what led to his demise. Today we would have a proper autopsy and a proper toxicology report should the first thing they did was not to carry him and put him inside the ground. Everything is part of it, from poor parenting to poor association to you are not surrounded by people that can take decisions on your behalf. We need to tell ourselves the truth. Did he have a great record label express? Of course not. Was he harassed on social media? Yes. Did his former record label do things to him that are unfair and not nice? Of course. But did that buy him? No. And even if I don't believe the report, I'm going to need a proper forensic doctor to look through it. And the other time I was asking, do you have a forensic doctor here? I said, do you have a forensic doctor here? Kemilu lawyer, as much as I respect her, she's a pharmacist. A pharmacist cannot give a final say on a toxicology report from someone from an autopsy. Someone said, but those things led to his depression. If you've ever encountered people, you see, depression is different from substance induced hallucinations. You see, once you've been on substance for like 2 years, once you've been on substance for like 2 years, especially the kind of substances we have out now, I'm not saying categorically that he was on substance, but there's a difference between depression and paranoia. I saw a bit of paranoia. My humble opinion, I may be wrong. I saw a bit of paranoia. Paranoia, they're different from depression. Somebody said, why are you leaving the bullying he went through? I didn't leave it out. I said, did he have a good record label experience? I said, absolutely not. What do people want to see in the record label, in the, what is it called? What is it that you want to see? You want to see them say that the autopsy result says, as he was passing away, his eye took a photograph of Naira Marley. So yes, everything contributed to his state. His parents, his record label, the bullying, the state of affairs with his wife, his friends, the company he kept, and his lifestyle. He lived on the fast lane. He lived on the fast lane. You wanted to say that as they pulled out blood or body fluids to check, as they just put the blood under the microscope, the white blood cells were doing like this. Hey, this Wumio, Wuminio, hey, Wuminio, Wumi, it was Wumio. Is that what you want to see? I'm sorry, you will not see that. As usual, Nigerians who, you see, my problem is you leave the elephant in the room and start picking specks of dust. This Ejire that is shouting, you are part of the problem in this Nigeria. You are too emotional. You are too emotional. I know somebody who used, should allow, didn't use, Abina Kolos. And he waka into thin air from the 3rd floor balcony. Just waka. Really no day. And he just the waka, they go, they waka for air. Broke both his legs. You guys don't understand the hazards of using. And as long as at any point in time he was linked with substance, we have to take a proper holistic look at the role substance played in his demise. Unless we don't want to be honest with one another. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, double click the screen. Pop my money gun if you're watching on TikTok. I have quite a few people here. If I'm going to bring you on live, I don't care about your opinion unless you're a lawyer, a forensic doctor, a forensic pharmacist, or anybody who is a, let's even start with basic nurse, doctor. I don't care about your opinion. If you don't understand what an autopsy is, I don't want to hear your opinion. This is not for opinions. Opinion time is over. We have a result. We need to analyze this result, and we're going to analyze it with people who went to school, not people who are dancing on TikTok and have opinions. Not people who do what God cannot do, does not exist, and believe that you can cure all sorts of things. Now, say they throw away one person for you, cannot go talk about that. I am looking for people who are intellectual. We are dealing with facts here, not your emotions. So don't send me requests if you think if it's opinion you have. Carry your opinion, I'm going to bury it. Where are your requests? I cannot see you. All of you sending me requests. There are like 20 requests. I've been at 10 self. A forensic pathologist. Those are the kind of people I want to talk to. I don't want to hear cho. I don't want to hear what you suspect. You dropped out in GSS 3. You never did integrated science, let alone chemistry or biology, but you want to examine a toxicology report. If they gave it to you and told you to study it and do exam on it, do you know what is written there? Go to school. Mama show show, mama jo, mama she hook up. To ba dele tan sin wa lawon lo opinion. I invited Famadi. Famadi no gree come. Okay, Famadi is here. I'm sending you a request. Famadi, come live. I don't want to hear to keep it to your gossip groups on WhatsApp. Please help me tag a Proco doctor. Those are the kind of people I want to hear. If you no go school, you no go come today live. This live is not. We are not talking about who they bench who. Any day we are talking about that, don't worry, your opinion will be needed. In fact, I will write you a letter 3 weeks before, say we want to talk about that so we can bring you. You where you don't deal with 350 men. The remaining 200 you not recognize, you not remember, but you remember 350. So your opinion is valid. Any day we are talking about Bolahon and Quick matter, don't worry, we will invite you. But any day now, I need doctors. I need pharmacologists, pharmacists. I need people who go school. People who studied chemistry, people who studied biochemistry, people who studied cell biology. Those are the people that I need now. Now only one person said, before now 20 people say everybody just withdraw their request. One say, okay. 33 is not talking to my type of person today. Some of you dropped out of secondary school. Dentist still makes sense. And hey, all of you, they do have for no be today be your own. I'm talking about people who get deep understanding. No be all of them we go night school. Adult education. No be you now they talk to today. The day I get your time, I go bring you. Make una send request now. Una no send request again. You want to come and tell me that a professor who oversaw the toxicology report and the autopsy does not know anything? It is you that know it. No. I want a professor to challenge a professor. Everybody just quiet. No request again. Okay. I think so when I get sense before. Oh, I don't believe that autopsy. Oh, that autopsy is not real. What do you not believe inside? What is it in the autopsy that you not believe? Mention the thing that you not believe. Can I open the page for you there? Someone said, but he said I didn't believe the result. I don't believe anything that comes out of Nigeria. But I cannot go against it. Just as I don't believe any of the reports about Mohbad, I don't believe anything anybody said. I don't believe Mohbad's father, I don't believe Mohbad's wife, I don't believe Samilari, I don't believe Naira Marley, I don't believe anything. And Naija we did. So as far as I'm concerned, everything is on the same level. Where are all of you? Where are you? Where are the biochemists? Oh, Oh, we not get. If I say Olo shows, you see 200 people just come. Hey, Daddy Freeze, pick me, pick me, pick me. I get Big Bobby, pick me, pick me. I want to comment. Hey, if it is who can twerk more, oh, my Instagram will hang because I will get 250 requests. Is twerking in an important part of a lady's life? You will see everybody. Daddy Freeze, I don't like twerking. Oh, Daddy Freeze, I can't twerk. We are talking about autopsy now. Where are the scientists? Olodo rabata. Lẹ́yìn kẹ́ máa jó lórí TikTok, lẹ́yìn kẹ́ máa wòran lórí Instagram, lẹ́yìn kẹ́ ẹ̀dẹ̀ máa lọ church kẹ́ máa pariwo àmì lórúkọ Jésù. Where are the intellectuals? We not get. I'm going to close this live. I've tried my best. I cannot address something that requires a doctor without a doctor. I cannot look at where is it? Let's rest now. Okay. Okay. We are here on charger. Where are the pharmacologists too? Oh yeah, sit down. Where are the pharmacists? Maybe I even want you to hear, since you are a chemical, you are a chemist, analytical, taste buds and analytical chemist. Miriam.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. How are you doing? Please tell me, what is your field?
Well, I mean, just like how you say, you don't believe anything. Me too. I don't.
What's your field?
I'm a home health aide. I'm a CNA.
Okay, so you are a nurse.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so you did chemistry.
Yes.
Yes, it's not to.
Yes, I did.
Can I see your face properly?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, wow, you are fine.
Thank you.
But today is not for fine. Today is for brain. Oh yeah, tell me, what do you not agree with?
Everything in this case, I don't agree with.
Okay.
But we don't know nothing except God. That's the one that knows, because
okay,
He's the only one that knows everything. That's what I have to say. But it's Nigeria, it's Africa, African country. We are so behind in everything. So we can be in the front. We are rich than every Europe country, American country, but we don't know how to control our finance in the way for our country to be the richest country in the world. So that's all I have to say. I don't.
Okay, I think I have a doctor here. Just chill. I'm gonna need you here, so just chill. Okay, so I'm inviting a doctor. He sent a request. Dr. Omar.
Hello, Daddy Freeze.
Hello, doctor. Are you a medical doctor?
So I would say I'm a research scientist and I'm a toxicologist.
Oh, hey, I feel like twerking. This is the kind of people we are looking for. I'm tired of Olosho's opinion. Olosho's, keep your opinion for today. So, brother, did you actually go through the report?
Yes. So I scanned through, not like really in-depth study the report, but I scanned through to kind of see what's their general conclusion, what the professor put in that particular report. So I kind of went through, and I think for me, report is inconclusive, I would say, and there are reasons to why that inconclusive outcome kind of was the major conclusion. And reason being that a lot of confounding factors that kind of limited what the outcome of the study could have been. So autopsy generally needs to have been done within few days of death. And the preservation of the body also plays a role in whatever the outcome is going to be. But in this case, it was rushed to be buried. And if you look very carefully from the beginning of the report, they indicated the state of the body. They indicated the state of the body for a reason, being that it might impair the outcome of the study that they are trying to conduct. And I think that's the reason why they stated at the beginning of the report what the state of the body is, which generally you will find in many of the toxicology reports out there as well. So, the state of the body definitely being from, I think they said mainly was already, it wasn't in the pristine form where you would say, okay, somebody died and you put it under a very good preservative state for you to run an autopsy. But in this case, it's been buried. It was exhumed days after, which definitely decay must have started. And that is an impairment to the results in itself. So even if anything was already inside of his body that could have led to the death, you can no longer
to the
give
spy. Please use spy because of the issue.
Okay. Okay. So whatever might have caused that, incident, you cannot actually tell precisely, mainly because even if it was a substance, body,
Now, there's something Dr. Kemi Olunloyo raised, and it was substance half-life. And I disagreed with her because she was like, I forgot how exactly she put it. She was like, because it took a while to do the autopsy, that the substance in his system would have metabolized. I'm like, metabolism ends once the organism loses its life, because how do you get a half-life of a, let's imagine I use Panadol now. How Panadol will be metabolized in my liver and expelled through my kidney, right? So once the liver and the kidney stop functioning, how do you now start calculating half-life?
Okay. Yeah, so I think I saw that very live as well, probably at the end of it. It's not possible that you want to use, the half-life of a particular substance in someone's system that is still alive with the liver functioning versus someone who's probably already gone. So that the issue of half-life in this case, I don't think the half-life measurements and the likes, whatever is found in the system must have been what is retained there at the point of death.
At the point of pi.
At the point of pi. So if there's any substance probably left, metabolites of any kind, I think if you still want to use that as a way of finding whether somebody took something, you can still find the metabolites if there's, if the methodology or the facilities are available for them to do all the measurements. So for me, I did a little finding, based on whatever the outcome is. And I'm just looking at what are the possibilities or what are the different autopsies that can be done to actually, if you really want to do a investigational study, to find out and nail things down, even though it might be very difficult to do it. Toxicology reports is not enough in this case. I think there's a physiological pathology or pathological physiology that needs to also be done, because the state of the heart, even though, degradation or decay might have been going on, I think if we find a very good expert looking into the substance, I don't think is adequate, and I don't think it's substantial enough to kind of make a conclusive evidence. I would think all forms of the autopsy needs to be done in terms of what is the outcome from a pathological study. I don't know if that was part, because most of the things I was looking at mainly geared towards toxicology report. And my own question is, what is the aspect of the state of the heart, the organs themselves? Because we all know situations that, people might have been going through, whether it's stress as a result of whatever it might be going on, in his life. So my own question is, besides a toxicology report, is there any pathological study that was conducted, at least to see what is the condition of his heart? Because if somebody is going through stress, depression, and the likes, you might be able to tell if you have good experts at home that can conduct a pathological study of his organ parts, because I from that autopsy, it seems like they did a very good job of having to look into different organs. However, because they said they took samples from liver, they took samples from major organs of the body, which a complete autopsy will entail. But my question is, taking all of these tissues, was it only to check what is the purpose? Like, what is the main purpose for taking the tissues? Was it only to just look into whether there is a substance in the system that might have led to things? Or even if there was no substance of any kind, and somebody might have gone through stress and they have things like maybe a cardiac arrest of any kind, and there are probably underlying heart problems that might be, there in his system for some time, even before that point of his, incident. For me, I'm just thinking, we cannot rely only on a toxicology autopsy or toxicology report as a way of making a final judgment. I would say the pathologists need to look into, I know maybe if they have not done that by now, it's probably already too late. If they have not done anything pathology by now, I would say it's already too late. It's already too late for anybody to look into his tissues. So probably, but I would expect that pathologists probably did their own part, and the result of the pathologist also need to be provided, and not just the toxicology report by itself.
All right, thank you so much. We've got a doctor here, if I am correct. Doctor.
Dr. Frizz, good evening.
Good evening. Are you a medical doctor?
No, I'm a PhD.
PhD in?
So, BSc Biochemistry, MSc Molecular Biology, PhD Translational Neuroscience in Molecular Neuroscience.
Welcome to my live. These are the kind of people I'm looking for today. All right, go ahead. Let's hear you, sir.
So, just as a caveat, I'm not a trained pathologist. Okay, that's why I have to read out my qualifications, because in medicine,
see, person will get PhD, they give caveat. Meanwhile, you go bring dropout of secondary school, tell you, say, I know what keep Mohbad. I know. See, a PhD is telling you the limits of his knowledge. Brother, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I was saying, my knowledge is in the area of molecular biology, biochemistry, and molecular neuroscience. So those are my specialty. When it comes to, so I heard you say something about the drug half-life. So
yes.
When I refer to a drug half-life, it's the time that the drug takes to respond to create a therapeutic effect. So it has a duration. So I will explain something to you. When you give a paracetamol, for instance, there's a reason why your doctor will tell you to take it 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening, because there's something called bioavailability of a drug. So the bioavailability of a drug is the time the potency of that drug will stay in the system to create a therapeutic effect. I don't know if I'm trying to speak.
Continue. We understand you clearly. Sorry, I understand you. The nurse understands you. The doctor understands you. I don't know about the remaining 900 people watching online.
Yeah, don't listen to them. They
just ignore them. If I don't understand, I'll say, please come again. I understand you perfect. Do you want me to relay in layman's terms what you explained?
Yeah.
The therapeutic effect of a drug is when you feel the drug working. For instance, if you have a headache, the therapeutic effect of the drug is the headache, you no longer feel it.
Yes.
Yes.
So the drug is working.
So if anybody else does not understand, raise your hand. Don't pretend. Continue, doctor.
Yeah. So can this person mute their mic?
Please mute your mic. If you are not talking, mute your mic.
So, like I was saying, when it comes to the reason why medical doctors tells you to take it two or whatever, morning, afternoon, and night, is because there's something called the bioavailability of that drug. So it means the time lag in which that drug can stay in the system to bring about that action I'm referring to initially. So,
Come, doctor, your mic is not muted. The other doctor. Is your mic muted, my sister? Okay. Doctor, the other doctor, your mic is not muted. Mute your mic. You are interrupting him. Continue, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So like I was saying, if for instance you take a medication at say 6 a.m. in the morning, it means that the time in which that particular drug will reach its effect may be maybe 6 hours duration. So there are some drugs that do have a short half-life or a much longer half-life, for instance. So depending on the half-life of that particular drug, sort of require the right prescription. That's why there are some medications you need to take after 24 hours. There are some you need to take after 6 or whatever hours based on the medication itself. So that is what is called the bio availability of that particular drug. Yeah. Now, there is a way your body responds to the drug, and there is a way the drug responds to your body, and that is what is called pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics. So that is the way the body responds to the drug, and the way the drug responds to the body. So that is where you have the level of drug toxicology coming into full force. So before you give out a medication, for instance, you need to understand what are the pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics of that particular drug, how the body reacts to the drug, and how the drug reacts to the system itself. Now, when it comes to drug toxicology, the area basically you look at is in the area of the liver. Okay, so the liver is one of the largest organs in the body, and that is where you have your drug metabolism, alcohol metabolism, and the rest of them takes place in the liver. So that is where everything goes on. That is why you are often advised to be very careful the kind of medication you take in. If you're someone that drinks a lot, you should be very careful with alcohol usage and all of that, because once you put so much pressure on the liver, then there are going to be problems along the line. So you could have liver cirrhosis, that is cancer of the liver, for instance. So at the level of the liver, you have a system that is called the cytochrome P450. Okay, that is so you have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 drug metabolism in the liver. Okay, so with those phases, once the potency of that particular substance is done with, the liver is meant to eliminate all of those things out. And then you then have that pass through the urine that then goes out into the body. Now, like I did a caveat initially, I said I'm not a pathologist, right? So I did a quick look at the document online. When you look at the document online, they sort of highlights the areas they looked at. So I'm just going to pull it up just a minute. Then I'll speak to some of the areas that they sort of highlighted, basically.
Okay, so, please raise your voice so that people at the back of the class can hear. Don't be angry.
All right. Okay. So I hope you can hear me now. Yes. So here they sort of looked at samples retained for histology. So histology basically
means more investigation.
Tissues, yeah, tissue samples. So histology is a study of tissue. Okay, so they picked the heart, lungs, liver, spleen, adrenal, the pancreas, and the kidney. So in terms of the heart, for instance, they said the histological section shows moderate to severe autolysis. So autolysis, auto, for instance, in Nigerians, we drive automatic cars, so it means automatic. Autolysis means breakdown. So it means that autolysis, so the heart was already breaking down already. Let me use the word
decomposing, putrefying.
Yeah, yes. So they said it was moderate to severe. Okay, so that's what they wrote there. And the same result was also projected for the lungs also. For lungs, they mentioned moderate to severe autolysis and just like that in all of the tissues I referred to initially. Now, I think they also highlighted, that the freeze is gone.
No, I'm right here. I just went to open the door for someone. Continue. I'm here with you.
Oh, yeah. So I think they also highlighted. So what I'm saying, these are not my words. I'm looking at the report that is online, which everyone has privy to. So I think they also highlighted some medications they saw when it comes to. So in the medication, they use something called I think LCMC. So those are mass spectrometer. So you use those sort of instruments to analyze compounds. So I'm going to explain to you how that works, for instance. So if I'm trying to, say for instance, I took paracetamol this evening, for instance, and you want to know the quantity of paracetamol in my system, you could actually take a sample and any form of sample, for instance, you homogenize that and you run it through the mass spec. So what you need to do is you need to then compare that with a standard. So how do I explain this now? So if you want to know, for instance, if you want to know if there's black substance in my body, for instance, you need to have a reference standard. I don't know how to put that in layman terms.
Reference standard meaning is what it was like before and now what it is like now.
Exactly, so that when you see it, you can recognize it. Okay, so you run so you could call it a control, for instance. So I think in the report they mentioned that they saw I think antihistamine. And if I'm correct, I think antihistamine is a medication for fever, malaria, and those kind of stuff. And maybe this particular individual, I'm not going to mention any name, for instance. So maybe this particular individual was on that particular medication because maybe they were
antihistamines are more of like Piriton.
Yeah.
They are more of allergy remedies.
Yes. You're right. So,
not malaria.
Yeah, thanks for that. So they sort of mentioned that. I think they also mentioned daphenel. I can't pull out that stuff now.
Let me go and look for the report so I can have it.
So they mentioned those medications, but what you need to look at, I don't have this information readily available right now. So what you need to compare is the dose that was mentioned. So if you can pull up the report, you could quickly check online. So what you need to check is this. I think I saw that document yesterday and I was able to see those, but I can't see it right now on Twitter. So what you need to do is, if you can pull up that report again, look at the dose they mentioned. So there's a dose there, gram per something. So they mentioned the amount. So that is the dose. So what you need to do is to compare that dose that was detected to what is an overdose or what is the recommended dose. So if the dose that was detected is not high enough to be lethal, then you can say, okay, this has no effect, right? So it depends on the level of dose that is able to bring about, the mind that you are saying sense. Okay, so if the dose that was detected is not at that particular threshold to bring about the bind that you're referring to, then you may easily rule out those sort of medications that were found in the system. Now, when it comes to autopsy, for instance, in the NHS, if you go onto the NHS website, you will see that they will tell you that the standard time lag or the time frame for which an autopsy that is recommended that should be done is maybe within the first 24, 48 and 72 hours. Yes, exactly. That is usually the time lag in which you should conduct such study or report. So I'm not so privy at what time this particular case they did the autopsy and all of that. So if there is autolysis, for instance, in all of the organs that they mentioned, there's really little you can do when it comes to that instance because, of course, there is already decomposition.
So sorry, I want to ask a question, sir.
Yes, please.
So, just to put it clear, the level of autolysis in specific organs like the spleen, the heart, the kidneys, and the liver can be a determinant of the conclusion of the autopsy, meaning they can interfere with whatever results we could get at the end of the day. Is that true, sir?
I like the way you put it, but I'm going to put it in a different way.
Okay, sir.
So it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the structural presentation of the tissue, yes, you could say there is interference there. When I mean structural, it means that if you are meant to have a transitional layering, so transitional, and then because of the autolysis, for instance, it means that the tissue morphology, everything is gone.
Yeah, because of the necrosis.
Yeah, you won't be able to see the patterning of that. So if you're looking for patterning, for instance, that is lost, for instance. But if you need that tissue to sort of homogenize that tissue, homogenization means, I don't know, pounding or something, I don't know how to say it. Homogenization, but you please help me here. So homogenization is you take a tissue, you put it into blend, the way you blend stuff, that's
yes.
Homogenization. Yeah, exactly. So if you are blending tomatoes, so that's homogenization. So if please accept my request to a doctor.
Okay, is that a doctor? Does anybody want to leave so I can bring the other doctor who also wants to talk?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I can't see your request, my sister. Send a request. There's no such request. Marianne, thank you so much for joining us. Please continue. You were talking about the...
Yeah. So the question you asked is, so it depends on what you want to do with that particular piece of sample. Okay, so if you're trying to look for patterning, if the tissue is in a normal shape, in normal order, then you need that. But if you want to check what is the substance that is embedded in that tissue, that may not be really important. All you need to do is to sort of do the mass
spectrometer analysis.
To determine that. Yeah.
So that'll be the mass spectrometer analysis. All right, we've got somebody here as a doctor. Do you want to wait a little so that he finishes?
No, you can carry on. I will just feed in. We can have intellectual conversations. So.
All right, doctor. Please go ahead. Any other person learned in the field can please join the conversation.
All right. Good evening, Daddy Freeze and everybody.
Good evening, sir. Please introduce yourself and tell us your field of study.
I'm Dr. Afinowi Ademitoro Olalekun, a medical doctor. I also have a master's in public health. And to make this very simple, I schooled in Lasut, the same place that autopsy was done. I would also like to give a disclaimer. I'm not a pathologist. And being a doctor, if I share a bit of the training, you understand, I could talk maybe in the absence of a pathologist. And when it comes to forensic pathology, this is one of my strengths in medical school. So there's a professor in Lasut, his name is Professor John Oladapo Obafunwa. I was a student, and he's a trained forensic pathologist. So for whatever anybody is saying about you don't believe what is happening in Nigeria, I don't think that matters here, because this professor was brought from Nebraska, US, in the United States of America. And as a matter of fact, what we do in Lasut is the best you have in Nigeria. So it's not cock and bull story. And also, let me take you back to the history of autopsy worldwide. Autopsy before now was done with inspection. The medical examiner would just observe the body and go. Before development started and they start to cut open the body. Now, for this case, for an autopsy to have been done, this is a case of exhumed body autopsy. But before I go there, every organ of the body would be cut open and sliced. They will be examined grossly.
And a sample taken.
And they will be examined histologically. So you understand. And before they are even cut open, there's a physical examination that is done. You look at the body from head to toe to check for marks and for those things. There's a lot a doctor will pick from observation. In the training of a doctor, inspection, you could diagnose the patient just from inspection. A lot of people who don't know about medicine, stethoscope is the last thing a doctor carries, because the order is inspection, palpation, percussion, and auscultation. At that level of auscultating, we are already done with everything. It's just to probably confirm it. So now, all the organs must have been sliced, including the brain. If it's the same lab suit I trained, we will saw open the skull and bring out the brain and slice it open and check for any gross abnormality. Aside that, they must have taken autopsy, histology samples. So now, during the course of this life, I went to check the reports. They said that there was what's it called? Antihistamine found in the blood, in the body, antihistamine, and it's not suggestive that it could have caused death. But there was drugs. Now, they did not say there was opioids in the blood or in the tissue, whatever.
Sorry, doctor, 1 second. Opioids are what we know to be derivatives of opium and other hard organs, hard substances. Sure. So I want to break it down to the people who would not understand. I know the people who have medical backgrounds and chemical backgrounds will understand this, but for the layman, they don't understand what an opioid is. So an opioid is a derivative of opium, like heroin and morphine, and if I'm correct, doctor.
Very correct.
Okay, sir.
Narcotics
in general, yes.
We didn't see anything like that. So, and I think I also read that they saw some, the particular part of the arm showed abnormality. Again, let me also bring you to the process of forensic pathology. Time says that when a body dies, and people who are saying a dead, you can autopsy is based on true. Well, you can do autopsy in the early time of death.
In the early time of pie, no vex because of Instagram issues. Just say pie.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's what you call exhumed body autopsy. If somebody pie or died pie about 10 years ago, we can still carry out an autopsy. And that's when exhumed body autopsy comes in. So now, let me just take you through the process of
Doctor.
Argon motives.
No, I just want to say something. You continue just 1 second. Remember, when it comes to say 10 years autopsy, at that level, you're going to be looking at the level of the DNA. So there's a little bit.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have argon motives at that level. Is better appreciated in the light-skinned people. You see the bruises. Liver motives is what is better appreciated. In argon motives, the body becomes cold. That happens around 2 hours post-death. Then we have liver motives, which happens around 4 to 6 hours. That is when the body
you start seeing blue patches. Bruises, blood will start going to gravity places.
Area of the body. That's liver motives. At 6 hours of death, we have what we call rigor motives that sets in. Rigor. It becomes hard. Then, after which putrefaction sets in. Putrefaction is decaying, and it starts at the right lower quadrant, right iliac fossa, somewhere in the lowermost rightmost part of our abdomen. That's where decay starts from, because the cecum is there, which is where the orb of bacteria. So now, then spiraling occurs where the decay starts. Now, at the point where decay starts, there's what we call forensic entomology, with which insects around those bodies could say a lot about what happened before death. And now, these things are done. Even you can use the insects to also date when that body actually died.
Bye.
So now there's some fine. There's some insects that will come around 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and the likes. So this is for the forensic entomologist to decipher, and this is a part of the forensic team. I have not left Nigeria for any training, and I'm speaking to you like this. This is where the training I got from Professor General Obafunwa. many years ago. Because, like I told you, it's one of my strengths in medical school. People in last would, I try my classmates to bear me witness to this. So, whatever is done in last if you go, and again, the sweet thing about pathology or forensic pathology, especially autopsy, is if you bring the best of the best from all over the world, they can redo the same autopsy and they will still get the same results. This is the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's
It's
like
like
science. That's science.
it's science.
Yeah,
So
science
you will always get the same results. So if they tell you that, if they told you rather that they couldn't get it's a bit inconclusive, then it is. So that's it. I just want us to why I was really eager to choose to
it's network.
All right, network. Okay, doctor, what is your take?
I think he has actually established the basic foundation. And remember when you're back. Carry on, please.
I don't know where last I, but I think I.
No, you're talking about. Oh, you're frozen.
Network, Nigerian network.
So before it comes back, you asked the question initially when you were trying to understand the tissue itself. There's a question you asked me before he came on board when I mentioned that it depends on what you're trying to look at.
Yes.
Oh, you're back. So where you stopped was if you bring a doctor from anywhere in the world,
they will give you the same results because it's science. They will give you the same results. So they're going to arrive at the same conclusion. And if you do that again over and over, the same result will happen. So I think that's all. I've said enough.
Okay, doctor. Thank you so much.
I'm willing to answer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. God bless you. Okay. Any other contribution?
Now you can stay on the phrase. Maybe you could feed questions from the comments if you want.
Okay. Maybe I can bring somebody up.
Yeah, and this person, you could take them off.
Okay. The other doctor, can you please leave? If I take you off now, it will not you. The other one upstairs. Sorry, brother. So I can bring somebody else to ask questions. Or do you have any contribution? No, not you. Not the doctor below. Not the last suit doctor. The other doctor.
Okay. Yeah. So what I wanted to say was just to buttress more on this point.
Okay.
Like I said initially, you asked the question as regards to the tissue itself, and I mentioned that depending on what you're looking for, if you're trying to look out for substance within the tissue, you can do your MS and LS, and that's what they did in that report I saw online, which I told you that you need to compare that with a reference standard to see what is the level of dose and what is the recommended dose and what is the dose that is able to cause any little kind of effect. Now, like you mentioned, when it comes to doing the autopsy anywhere in the world, you're going to come down to the same result. That is true. But the only caveat to that is if the same standard procedure is followed across board in all this laboratory. That should be established. And also what should also be established is the preservation of your samples, for instance. So if your samples are poorly preserved, that may actually have an overall effect on the outcome of that particular result. And if you draw back to, for instance, I'll give your audience a general knowledge in the early days of the pandemic where we're trying to test for SARS-CoV-2. And one of the basic components that was used at that time is called your RNA. And your RNA, for instance, is highly unstable. So if you don't have the right temperature to preserve this kind of samples and all of that, it actually gives a false negative or a false positive result, depending on the way you want to look at it. And the doctor you brought on board has spoken very well, and I commend him for that.
Okay, we've got a guest with us.
That's why in science, I made a very profound statement initially when I opened, and he did the same thing. I told you I do not have knowledge in everything of medical sciences. So you defer expertise to someone who is a specialist.
Which is what I was telling Dr. Kemi Olunloyo.
And he did the same. So I really commend him for that. He did the same. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we've got a lady right here with us. Hello, madam. How are you doing?
Hi, Daddy Freeze.
How are you doing? Good evening. Please, can you tell us a bit of give us a bit of a background of your field and where your question would be coming from or your contribution?
Okay, so my name is Grace.
Okay, Grace.
Yeah, I'm from Abuja.
All right, Grace.
Calling in from Abuja. Yeah, so for me, my question is a question. I really want to know why it took this long for the autopsy result to be out. I am not in the medical field. I am not a medical practitioner. But from my findings, I'd like to think it wasn't supposed to take that long for the autopsy result to be out. And coupled with the fact that they said, or the result read that drugs were found in his system, I don't want to believe that it's entirely true. Maybe something else can also be done. Another test can also be taken.
Okay. Now, I wouldn't say drugs, I'll say medication, because no opioids, according to the report, were seen, but instead there were medications. Now, could the medications have led to shock? I will ask the doctor. Could interference between different medications have led to his demise? I am not qualified to answer that, and I think the person qualified to answer that has just left. But Dr. Peterson, can you take a shot at that?
So, when you say medications, right? Like I've explained this already in the beginning. So I mentioned that you have to look at the recommended dose and the dose that was found in the system. Okay, so they did the max spec on the analysis of the drugs or the medication, that were found, right? So if the dose that is recorded is not at a level that is able to bring about any sort of buying that the Freeze said initially, then there's nothing there. So, like I said, if you go onto these documents are online, so these are not my own works. So if you go online, for instance, you'll see the dose they established. So what you need to do is to check at what dose required is necessary to bring about buying. So you compare that yourself, you will see if that is established or not. So what they've done, that's how you sort of analyze substances in the system. So you do your max spec to analyze what is contained in that particular sample. And that is what you do. You then compare that to a reference standard. So that's the right thing to do.
All right.
So the thing about science is science has no feelings, okay? It has no emotions.
Exactly what I said at the very first time I spoke.
It's evidence-based. There are limitations to what you can say if you don't have the evidence. So anyone that comes out to say a sort of things without any evidence-led or evidence-based results, you should be very conscious of those sort of individuals. So you should be very careful in the way you draw conclusion without any tangible evidence, specifically when it comes to medical research.
Somebody is saying doctors supporting each other. Doctors supporting facts. Please, let us always try to have sense. All of you that want to ask questions, you will not come and ask doctor now. When I go to type waiting, I don't know for comment section.
Thank you for that clarification. I think I'm aware now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pharma D for life. I need you here. Pharma D for life. Come live. Why? Why are you typing? Pharma D for life.
I think you need to do this more often. You do what you do. Then once in a while, you bring in people to sort of educate.
Yes. More than anything, I want to. But the problem is, what if the people are not ready to have this kind of conversations?
But if you look at the comments, I think people are really happy at the conversation so far.
I'm serious, I'm alive.
Okay, so anybody else? Famadi for life. Okay, somebody just sent me a request. Lash by Elsie. Imagine eyelashes. Eyelashes people want to come and put comments. And for all you know, the comment might even make sense. Let me just bring her on.
Please let her come.
Oh yeah,
So
I want to
all
hear
like-
all the questions.
At least doctor is ready to answer our questions today.
Absolutely.
I don't have answers to our questions. I don't have answers.
Oh yeah. If there are no questions, can I go and rest?
All right. So it's nice talking to you. Daddy Freeze, this is the second or third time I'm on your live.
And I'm very happy to host you.
Daddy Freeze, this is my first time. My first ever. Like like I couldn't believe it when I saw my phone beeping, but I had to like, are you serious? This is happening? Okay, let me try.
All right, we have somebody
Thank
else
you.
with us. So your question, please.
Thank you, Chris Ojo. And Grace.
I think we have a call here. We lost that caller again. Omo. Okay. Vidoma sent a request. Let's hear what she has to say. All right, Vidoma, can we have some light so we can see your face?
Oh God, dear, I turned off my light and I'm naked.
Wow. You know, I always like, especially in important matters like these, I like seeing the people's faces. Uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
All right,
Let
so
me
go
get
ahead with your
something to
contribution.
wear. Let me wear something, please, before problem go start now. God. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm trying to grab something to wear quickly.
Okay.
All right, so ask your question while you're
Doctor.
getting ready. In the background, we can hear you.
Okay, doctor, sorry, please. What I wanted to ask is this: from everything you've said, it seems like at every point in time you can always get an autopsy carried out on a deceased body. So my question is this: could there be any factor that could contribute to an inconclusive autopsy result?
The term inconclusive is broad, so it depends on. So you have to have set parameters. Okay, so what is the end point? What are you looking for? So it depends on what you want to achieve. So the answer you're looking for is not going to be a yes or a no, because that's not the way it works. So what exactly do you want? For instance, you could actually do, if, like the other doctor mentioned initially, once you exhume a body, let's say 10 years down the line, you could actually check the materials of that particular remain and see if they are related to X, Y, and Z individual. So at that level, you'll be going for the DNA. That's why I'm saying that it depends on the end point or what are the readouts you are looking for. So it depends on what they were trying to establish. So if what they are trying to establish, then if there is possible interference, remember, if you go back to the document, this is not me saying, I'm saying to you what I've seen online. They said there was moderate to severe autolysis, which is the decomposition of those organs we were looking at. Could that have an interference with their findings? You never can tell. So that's the way it works. So these are experts. These guys are trained to do these things. So if they are saying that is what they have found, what you need to look out for is what are the processes and what is the end point they were looking at. If the end point that was set is going to be interfered, by the sample in question, then they can say, okay, this may likely not be conclusive.
Okay. Okay, sorry, dear. Can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
Okay, doctor, I'd like to ask, in a situation whereby maybe a medication that is being administered to a patient is neither high or low. In a situation whereby the person is allergic to that medication, could it contribute to by the patient?
So these are sort of speculations. Okay, so when you do drugs, well, that's what you say it in clinical trials anyway. But when you do clinical trials, you test something called the LD50. So when you're doing clinical trials for drug, so I have experience when it comes to drug development and drug trials. So when you do drug, now the phrase, am I allowed to use that word here? I'm trying.
You can spell it out.
Okay, when you do DRUG studies, for instance, there's something called the LD50, which is the dose at which that particular medication can cause pain. Okay, so they've studied all of this at the level of preclinical trials, clinical trials, phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3. So they've established all of that. And that is why when you pick up a medication today, you're going to see the required dosage that you're required to take. Okay. So if you go back to that same document, they highlighted a couple of medications that were picked up by their analysis. And the dose that were detected were also specified in that particular document. It's online, it's a public document. And I've said before, what you need to do is to look at the dose that is specified in that result and compare that to this recommended dose or possible overdose and all of that, and if that is able to bring about any form of buying and all of that. So I'm not going to sit here to draw conclusions, because before you can draw any scientific conclusion, you have to have the right hard fact before you to make any sort of projections or something. That's not the way I'm trained. The way I'm trained is to have the data before me, interpret it, and then make sense of it. And that's the way it works. So whether there is high level or low level or whatever, or allergic reactions and all of that, you can't determine that from just conversations.
Now, a lot of people want to know in English terms what pied Mohbad. Now, in an autopsy, we would also need to examine physical evidence. Was there blunt force trauma? Was there a gash through which he could have lost blood? And all those things. And when it comes to that, what do you think regarding that, doctor? What do you think the autopsy, in what direction do you think the autopsy is pointing? From your many years, is it pointing towards he was pied, MURDER? Is it negligence? Is it a reaction to medication?
I don't know. I'm not going to sit here to say I know. I don't.
But what do you feel?
My feelings means nothing.
It does mean something because you are trained. So tell us what you feel. I want to get it out of you. But you seem to be dodging it.
No. That is phrase. I train scientists. I'm a trained scientist, right? No. I've gone past that level of my life. That's why if you listen closely, I'm very careful with my choice of languages and words. And that's just what it is, because so there's something called reproducibility in science in this part of the world. It means that when you release a piece of research,
it can be replicated.
Yes, anywhere in the world. And if you do something wrong, that could
okay, Dr. Oma wants to come in. One of the ladies, the lady that came before Vidoma. All right. All right, thank you. Vidoma, you stay because you asked the question.
That could actually damage your reputation, one. Two, it could be misleading to the science community and the medical community as well. So that's why you need to be very careful in your data
My
analysis.
Instagram is hanging. I can't bring anybody else.
Oh,
I can't bring anybody else. Doctor, let me try and invite you. I'm not sure you'll be able to get it because the Instagram is hanging, Dr. Omar. But if you can't get it, ask your question by typing. Please forgive me.
Can I leave?
Even if you leave, it won't work.
Okay.
Once it don't hang like that, Instagram don't hang like that with that. Dr. Omar, I can't even invite him. Dr. Omar, just type what your question is. Please. I can't see any doctor to add because the Instagram has started hanging.
Maybe you could restart your live again.
I've been on for 1 hour, 20 minutes. This is my second time live today. I'm exhausted. If I end it here, I believe we have some sort of conclusion. If you're watching on TikTok, pop my money gun if you're enjoying this. Super chat, super stickers, and super live likes on YouTube. And buy 1,000 stars and above on Facebook. My account on Facebook is Daddy Freeze, DADDYFREEZE. And I will read your comments. So, thank you guys so much. We might continue with this tomorrow so as to bring more.
Yes, am I opportune to ask one last question?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, doctor, sorry I'm asking too many questions, but then it's just for enlightenment. You know, most of the times when you go to the hospital and they're about to administer a medication to you, they'll be like, ask some few questions to know if this particular drug has ever reacted in a certain way on you.
If you've had any adverse reaction to you, do you react to any drugs? Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So in that case now, some people might not know, like they might not be informed, or they might have not observed that within time. Or so I want to ask, in situations like this, can it contribute to harm someone in a very dangerous way, in a way that it could by the person?
I think you're trying to still rephrase the question.
Yeah, you're trying to still rephrase the question that the medication found in his system, could he have reacted to them and could he have had shock from them? It could that have led to his demise? It's funny because the thing seems to be pointing to medication, but we've not measured the amount of those medications in his body to the point where we can say that, okay, he was overdosed or...
No, I think they have that space somewhere in the documents. They reported the dose in the documents there.
And the doses were not scary or out of this world?
No.
Okay, so
again, we can't just sit back and try to draw conclusions or make inference as to what has led to what. Okay. So if the document that is produced, and I think that document was also stamped, so it means, and there were names also, there were people's names there, professors, doctor. So those individuals, I'm sure they stick out their names and their head to say, okay, we are sort of authenticating this particular document. And that should say something a lot, okay? Like we said initially, when it comes to science, it's a central, it's a central kind of process, a central dogma, right? The way you analyze a particular piece of sample in Nigeria is still going to be the same way you're going to analyze it anywhere in the world, provided you're following the same protocol and you have the same tools and equipment before you. Is the same thing. That is why we're able to test for SARS-CoV-2 in Nigeria, and we're supposed to do the same in the UK, in the US, and all of that, and everyone came to the same results.
Are you satisfied with what you've gotten?
He's looking for a definite yes or no, and that's not the way it works. No, that's not the way it works.
I'm satisfied. But
Okay, so somebody is asking, so was Dr. Kemi Olunloyo all right?
I did not listen to our conversation.
She said somebody buyed Mohbad.
I don't know. I don't know where she got her conclusion from. I don't know.
I don't know where she got that conclusion from either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I think we should. That's why I said when it comes to science, since it's evidence based, right?
Somebody said anaphylactic shock. I don't think so. Could it be, doctor? Let me know answer.
I don't know.
Doctor doesn't want to. Doctor doesn't want to answer in absolute terms.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's not the way I'm trained.
Daddy, please.
Yes, my darling sister.
Yeah. So doctor said that for you to be able to reach to a certain result of, you have to have a particular stuff that you're looking for to get the actual result you're looking for. So sorry to ask, what if maybe you're looking for A and the cause of the Y is B? How do you determine
I'm going to
that?
stop you right there. So this is where science comes in. And I think this should end your quest, right? When you do a mass spec, it picks all components and starts matching them. So this is where expertise comes in. I'm a scientist, right? And if I'm on a plane, I'm not going to start querying the pilot why he's taking his particular route or whatever he's doing. That's not my area of expertise. So if you do a mass spec analysis, it has the capacity, that equipment has the capacity to pick up varieties of molecules and start matching them up. So it's not going to only be looking for A or B or C. I'm only saying that the way it works, you have reference standard. So you're going to load reference standard into the machine, and the machine will start analyzing these things and drawing out the structure. And from the structure, you start matching the structure to available structures in databases to see which of these components matches. That is the way it works. So that leg you're trying to pull, that's not the way science works, okay? I'm just trying to just go on a very normal level. But when it comes to if you want to read mass spectrometer, just go online and read about it. It's really super complicated. I was just trying to break it down a little bit. So it has the capacity to detect thousands and thousands of molecules at a run. So that's the way it works. So it's not going to say, okay, I want to fish Lagos, and it start fishing only Lagos.
You know, Vidoma wants a yes or no answer.
No, it doesn't work.
She wants you to tell her that.
No, it doesn't work like
Nasamilari naipai Mohbad.
It doesn't work like that.
But you see, to be very honest, what science does is, even if it doesn't tell you a yes or no, it eliminates some things.
Yes.
And if Naira Marley did not have any contact with him within the last 48 hours of his demise, I think that sort of eliminates him. Doctor, you can't, I'm now giving you logic. You can't avoid that.
I don't know.
Doctor, now you're sitting on the fence too much.
No. Daddy Freeze.
Okay, if we establish that Naira Marley was not in contact with him in any way or form, directly or indirectly, for the last 1 month before he passed on, I don't think he can be pulled as a suspect.
So the leg you're going now is legal, not medical.
Medical too. Let's also go into medical, because let's imagine Naira Marley slapped him a month before. Could that slap have eventually led to his demise from a medical perspective? So yes, I'm also talking medically.
This doctor, they like lawyer. It's because I have more than 100 hours of TV interviews. That is, you can't put me anywhere.
Anyway, here are my thoughts. Even though we don't have any direct leads, it is somewhat safe, in my opinion, and I must say it's my opinion, and I might also put my disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or a pathologist or a lawyer, but I do have a bit of understanding of science and medicine, of course, not to the level of my brother here, who is very, very senior, or to the other doctor who finished from Lasut. But I can say from my understanding of medicine, it is hard to pinpoint an accurate source of demise, and you cannot point to any particular one person. I would say Mohbad's demise was as a result of circumstances, his personal circumstances, the demons he was fighting internally and externally, uh, his upbringing, his financial stability and instability, the kind of people he chose to surround himself with. It was a set of circumstances. The problem with Nigerians is we have yes or no brain. Black or white thinking is very dangerous. There are some things that are not yes or no. Like if you use the Bible to analyze cigarette, you can't say cigarette is a sin because there's nowhere in the Bible where it says do not smoke. But the Bible says love your neighbor as yourself. So you can come from the angle that if you expose your neighbor to secondhand smoke, you could be putting them in harm's way. But then remember, the Bible says love yourself. So if you yourself are inhaling the smoke, there's no yes or no. There are many things in life that don't have yes or no answers, and Nigerians need to be able to accept that. We like closure. We like to hear that, oh, it was his father. May they go lock him, papa. Oh, it was Naira Mali. Oh, it's because his wife gave birth to a child. Oh, it was one monarch. Oh, it was this. We love that. But you see, what you do when you have that kind of mentality is you endanger innocent people's lives. If you want to deal with the bullying, let Samilari and Naira Mali answer questions from the perspective of bullying. If you want to deal with negligence, let the nurse, the wife, and everybody who was around him 24 to 48 hours before his demise, let them be questioned regarding negligence. If you want to focus on upbringing and the kind of upbringing he had that made him take the kind of decisions he took, then you hold his father and his mother.
Daddy Freeze, I wanted to say something to you, right?
Yes.
So in science, we do something called blinded studies. And the reason for that is you're trying to ensure there is no bias or interference or human interferences, right? And so that at the end of that particular study, you could say, yes, there is no possible interference. There is no end result plan in mind. So, like, for instance, you're saying, I want to go to Lagos. It means you've established that you're going to Lagos. So if you arrive at Lagos, that's no longer an investigative kind of science. It's already predefined results. So that's why when it comes to science, we say you have your control, you don't know what the sample is, you have your experimental harm, you don't know what the sample is, and all of that. And the reason for that has to do with what is called science integrity, reproducibility, and establishing what the results are so that the science community, the medical community, humanity as a whole can actually be at peace to know that this piece of evidence before us is something that is bankable. But if we have this pre-mindset that this is the kind of result I want, that is no longer medical research and that is no longer science. And that is where we need to be very careful when we have a preconceived
notion
mindset exactly of what we want. That's not the way science is. That's why any doctor that speaks to you with so much authority and so much...
that was the issue I had with Auntie Kemi. That authority was too much.
No, you need to be calm. You need to be calm. So for me, like I mentioned initially, I did my first degree biochemistry, molecular biology at second degree, translational neuroscience at PhD level. Despite, and I train scientists and all of that. I've published publications in top journals around the world. I speak at conferences. One thing you are told as a scientist is that you need to be, there should always be a caveat to whatever you're saying. because that is the level where you are right now, is the level of knowledge you have.
A caveat is some sort of a disclaimer.
Yes.
So for those who don't know, that's why when I was talking to her, I was like, these are my opinions. These are what I suspect. And even before I gave what I suspect, I remember I said, I'm not a doctor. Does not mean I don't understand medicine. But I cannot give a doctor, for me to be able to give a doctor's perspective, I have to go to medical school and come out.
Even at that, right? So there's something called general practitioners, right? There is a surgeon in cardiothoracic surgery in the heart. You have neurosurgeon. That is why you have specialties, because it's not a jack of all trade kind of profession. Okay, someone who is a gynecologist cannot be giving, cannot be sort of rolling out information as to the way the brain functions. So if someone who is a gyne by training is telling you that, oh, there's something wrong with your brain, then you should be very careful with such a medical doctor.
God will bless you. Who listened to my, this was not what I was saying. I said a cardiothoracic surgeon cannot give you oncology advice.
No.
I was saying, who was there in the afternoon session? I repeated that. I kept repeating that a professor of cardiology cannot give, he will have to refer you to an oncologist.
Yes.
And
except he specializes in oncology. And that oncology has to do with the heart again.
Yes.
Yes.
So in medicine, the problem with us in Nigeria is our education is so limited. God help us. Everybody becomes an authority.
No, that's not the way it works.
It doesn't work like that. There was a day I was on a flight. It was me and Tazebuds were going to Abuja. And the plane was descending. So I was sitting by the wing and I was watching. So I saw the pilot feed flaps and then retract the flaps. I was like, that's funny. So when the plane landed, I waited for everybody to land. I now went to the cockpit. I greeted the pilot, very handsome young guy. He was the captain. So, you know, when you greet somebody who greeted you, I said, oh, wow. I was looking around the cap. I gave one or two comments. Said, oh, yeah. The moment I said, in your approach, I noticed you fed flaps 30 and then you retracted to flaps 15. What happened? The guy just looked me. He now gave me he said he called for flaps 15, but the co-pilot fed flaps 30. Now, when he saw that, okay, this is no longer just somebody asking, somebody actually noticed something. And he went on to start explaining. So, you see, I am not his boss. He could have explained to me that, look, I wanted to go with flaps 30, but then because of the winds, I changed my mind and I changed my style of approach and instead chose flaps 15. He could have still landed with flaps 30 or with flaps 15 at that point. The decision was his. And I'm in no way qualified to question his decision. But I can ask a question. But you see, when somebody read, and that was the issue I had with Auntie Kemi this afternoon. When she read the report, she now came and said that from her many years of being a pharmacist and a journalist, somebody buyed Mohbad. And I'm like, this report that I'm looking to, you cannot rely on this report to say somebody buyed. That's why I said his circumstance, his record label would have been a contributing factor. Naira Marley and Sam Larry would have been a contributing factor. His wife would have been a contributing factor. His personal choices would have been a contributing factor. His father and his mother and his upbringing would all have been contributing factors. That result cannot point and say that from this autopsy we can conclude beyond any reasonable doubt that he was bitten by a lizard, for instance. So anybody relying on that report and saying that, oh, this is the reason why that person, this person was bitten, is being emotional, in my personal opinion. And I may be wrong. And that is why when she said we should bring doctors and lawyers, we might have this session again. And I hope Auntie Kemi joins us tomorrow. And we'll bring lawyers this time. And I also need forensic lawyers. I also need forensic pathologists.
You see, you're going through the route of special doctor does not mean you know everything, and you need to acknowledge that. Any doctor that says they know everything, that is a red flag. If you meet a doctor that speaks with so much authority and tells you, I know it all, that should be a red flag for you as a patient, as a person, as a nation, as a community.
Okay, Samaria is asking me some questions, but she's asking me the questions via WhatsApp. So we call her because she's coming from a medical. Samaria is a nurse. So I'll just end here. Yes, that your question. I can't bring you live, sadly, because of the restrictions.
Yes,
but that your question is an important question. Please
Did you
ask.
see that? Do you know what that thing is used for? Do you know where it can be found?
Where?
Okay, first of all, it can be found in antifreeze. Where did the antifreeze come about? Because they wrote it there.
Antifreeze.
Yes. Where is that thing coming from? Where is the
could that have been as a result of the embalming?
No, I was trying to look up if it has any relationship with what's it called? The one they use for embalmment. What's it called again?
Formaldehyde.
Yeah. I was trying to see if it has any connection with that.
Make una clap for me. Me say go small school. Una no go clap for me. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Formalin. Okay, has that any relationship with formalin? I mean, where is that coming from? Is anybody talking about it at all?
Okay, Samaria sent me this and said that the substance ethylene glycol, analytic chemist, ethylene glycol. Who can help with that? Analytic chemist. Okay. Ethylene glycol. Doctor. I would have said video ma put mouth, but this one be like say pass you small.
It passed me.
So doctor, ethylene glycol, popularly found in radiator antifreeze. And Samaria sent a screenshot of it and said, how come nobody is talking about this?
Was that part of the report?
I'm looking at it. My problem is all the blogs that posted, they posted it very small. My eye is not good. So I was relying on other people reading it to me. I had to wear glasses the other time. Tissue specimen. Okay, we'll have to bring Auntie Kemi again. Ingredient of benylene and Panadol. I can't seem to find it. Guys, continue what you were saying, doctor. Let me look for it. My Vidoma. Samaria, are you still here? No, she has cut, so I don't know where the echo is from. Let me send her a message. Screenshot the exact spot. My eye no too good like that. I don't the old. So I think we've come to a place where we can comfortably take a breather till tomorrow. So Auntie Kemi, we're going to bring you back tomorrow. And we're going to continue with the conversation. Thank you, Dr. Peterson, if I'm correct.
Say again?
Dr. Peter. Okay. Peter Imonesi. Did I get that? Imoesi. Okay, I think Samaria has... Okay, yeah, she has circled it. Okay, so I'm going to forward it to you, doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, analysis by gas chromatography, GC. Doctor, I'm sure you know what that is.
Yeah.
We have analyte, and then we have 20 milligrams per deciliter, if I got that correct, because my eye is not very good. Ethylene glycol. Test ethylene glycol blood, unspecified blood. I don't know what that means.
Oh, wait, you can forward it to my DM.
Okay, right now, let me just circle it and forward it to your DM.
Yeah, but I won't be able to access it because it means I will leave your life.
Yeah, so tomorrow, let's have another date and pick it up from there.
All right, yeah.
Okay, guys, God bless you all. We're going to come to the end of this, or to the best possible conclusion, and have some sort of closure. We all love Mohbad, may his soul rest in peace. But justice for Mohbad does not mean injustice for other people. Let us be careful what we say, because other people might get hurt and other people might end up going through a lot because of our own errors in decision making with regards to this particular scenario. God bless you, and I'm going to talk to you all tomorrow. Take care.
Yeah. Good night.